Call today.
This is your 420 Radio News for Monday, March 3rd, 2014, brought to you by the National Cannabis Coalition. I'm Russ Belville. Pennsylvania is the latest state to show over 80% support for medical marijuana. Quinnipiac University today released the poll showing 85% of the public support allowing sick and disabled persons to use cannabis with a doctor's recommendation. Surprisingly, support for medical marijuana doesn't even diminish among senior citizens, a demographic more likely to oppose marijuana reforms. Fully 84% of those 65 or older support medical marijuana. Voters are split 48% for and 49% against legalization of recreational use, and split 48% to 46% on the fact that marijuana is not a so-called gateway drug. Men support legalization at 55%, but women are 13 points behind. 58% of Democrats favor legalization, but 2/3 of Republicans oppose it. 2/3 is also the fraction of people under 30 who support legalization and the people over 65 who oppose it. Half of Pennsylvania voters also believe marijuana is no more harmful than alcohol, and another 1/3 understand that it is safer than alcohol, leaving just 15% who think marijuana is more dangerous than booze. The Oregon House voted today to delay voting on a bill that would allow cities to ban newly legal medical marijuana dispensaries. Today, the state began accepting applications online at 8:30 a.m. and traffic was very robust, according to Tom Burns, head of the dispensary program that was legalized last year by the legislature. Some legislators had hoped to vote on the dispensary ban before the legal dispensaries became a reality and threatened lawsuits that Representative Andy Olson warned could lead to, quote, the inevitable court case that could result in a significant portion of the medical marijuana program being struck down as unconstitutional, end quote. The Senate has already passed the bill unanimously without allowing cities to ban dispensaries. The House has added an amendment to restore a right for cities to ban dispensaries. Representative Brian Clem, noting the steadfast Senate opposition to any dispensary ban, said, quote, I think there is a very uncertain path in the Senate if there isn't some more discussion. California Governor Jerry Brown is worried that legalization of marijuana in California would hurt the state's competitive edge. Speaking to David Gregory on NBC's Meet the Press, Governor Brown said of legalization, quote, if there's advertising and legitimacy, how many people can get stoned and still have a great state or a great nation? The world's pretty dangerous, very competitive. I think we need to stay alert, if not 24 hours a day, more than some of the potheads might be able to put together, end quote. California, the world's 12th largest economy, is home to the easiest medical marijuana law to qualify for and an estimated 1 to 2 million patients, as well as 1 out of every 7 adult monthly marijuana smokers in the nation and several Fortune 100 corporations founded by pot smokers. Medical marijuana mom Daisy Bram, famous for the Save My Babies case where police ripped her suckling infants from her breasts, is at the center of a federal indictment over San Francisco police corruption. The indictment alleges 3 police officers enlisted Bram and her partner Jamie Walsh when they went to police to complain about a drug dealer who was menacing them. The officers allegedly stole marijuana from evidence and agreed to cut in Bram and Walsh for 25% of the proceeds if they would sell the drugs on the street in stings. Once they began cooperating with the federal investigators on the San Francisco corruption, the two were raided by Butte County in the case where the babies were taken, and then raided again once they moved to Tehama County. Legal marijuana grower readies for a 2-year federal prison sentence from Russia Today. A California man plans to turn himself into law enforcement on Monday afternoon and begin serving a 2-year prison sentence that he says was handed down, quote, for working at a pot shop that was legal in my state, end quote. Indeed, the collective of marijuana dispensaries that Robert Duncan worked for until October 2011 as the manager of growing operations was anything but illegal under California law. Nevertheless, he was indicted by the United States Department of Justice the following year for violating federal drug laws and subsequently pleaded guilty to manufacturing marijuana. He was sentenced to serve 2 years in prison as a result and intends on handing himself over to authorities Monday afternoon, live on camera. Huffington Post will be filming the ordeal. This has been your 420 Radio News for Monday, March 3rd, 2014. I'm Russ Belville. Transcripts of 420 Radio News are available exclusively at the National Cannabis Coalition. Visit ncc420.com to download today. You're listening to The Russ Belville Show on 420radio.org. We'll be right back.